The internet thought it was gossip. Blake Shelton made it something else entirely. He stood in front of microphones and confirmed the rumor nobody was prepared for, not because it was shocking, but because it was true in a way that cuts deeper than any scandal. Here is what actually happened. They were not supposed to find each other. Blake was built on Nashville dirt, raised by a father who sold used cars in a small Oklahoma town where Saturday nights revolved around high school football and gigs at bars with sticky floors. Music was the escape route. Not the dream. The escape. Gwen grew up in a different kind of quiet. Southern California suburbia where conformity was the only acceptable path. The house she lived in demanded silence. No loud voices. No messy emotions. She learned to compress everything inside and let it out through melody because that was the only place anyone would listen. Fast forward 30 years and both of them were sitting in the same chair on The Voice, not as lovers, not as friends, but as two people wearing smiles that had grown heavier than they wanted to admit. Their marriages were collapsing at the same time. Gwen had given 2 decades to Gavin Rossdale. She believed in that life. 3 children. A home. When it fractured, it shattered. Every interview became a minefield. Every question about her personal life felt like a puzzle to solve. Blake was going through it differently. His divorce from Miranda Lambert played out across country music media. The man who had written songs about small-town devotion found himself in a situation where nobody knew what to believe. They found each other in that room. Not dramatically. Just 2 exhausted people who understood that sitting next to someone who gets it is different than sitting next to someone who asks why. Songwriting brought them closer. They wrote together, not for an album, but for themselves. The kind of collaboration where you don't need to finish your sentences because the other person already knows where the thought goes. The cameras caught things they didn't mean to show. The leaning. The looking. The unguarded moments that happen when you forget you are being watched because for once you feel comfortable enough to forget. People noticed. 2 famous people don't accidentally fall in love on national television without millions seeing it unfold like a slow-moving train they can't look away from. They denied it. The way people deny things they're not ready to own yet. Publicists released statements. Interviewers pressed. And then they stopped. Because hiding becomes impossible when what you're hiding is the first real thing that's happened to you in years. They married in 2021. No fanfare. No Vogue spread. Just Blake's property in Oklahoma and a gathering of people who mattered. The kind of wedding you plan when you've had enough public celebrations to know the private ones are the only ones that count. Blake confirmed something that took people by surprise. Not a confession of scandal. Something quieter. He said she pulled him out. Not metaphorically. Not in a way that sounds good in a headline. In the practical way that one person drags another away from the edge by simply refusing to let go. He had been heading somewhere dark after his divorce. The kind of direction where success stops meaning anything and fame becomes indistinguishable from the noise inside your head. Gwen didn't fix him. She sat with him while he figured out that staying was the point, not fixing. And that is what he confirmed. That the woman he married was not the person he planned for. She walked into a room where 2 broken people were pretending to be fine and made it okay to stop pretending. They're still together. Still writing. Still choosing the quiet life. And Blake's confirmation wasn't a defense against rumors. It was an admission that the best thing in his life came from the worst time in his life. The love you're not looking for is usually the one that keeps you alive.